Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to acknowledge that Mount Allison University is located within the traditional territory of Mi'kma'ki, the unceded ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq. Our relationship and our privilege to live on this territory was agreed upon in the Peace and Friendship Treaties of 1725 to 1752. Because of this treaty relationship, it is to be acknowledged that we are all treaty people and have a responsibility to respect this territory.
Gwe, ni nelawis migajumestabek na jij ni wiki amalam gukwasawe, upchalasi. In my language of Mi'kmaq, I introduce myself as Grandmother Buffalo, and I'm the knowledge keeper in Fort Folly First Nation. And I bring greetings on behalf of our community and our Chief and Council today as we honor our graduates of 2026. I would like to start us off with a prayer, if we could all stand. Gisuk, Creator, thank you for allowing us to gather today. Be with our friends and our family as we celebrate our graduates of 2026. I call upon all of our ancestors that have gone before us to come be with us today, to honor the amazing work that these individuals have done on their journey to their education. We invite and give thanks to each and every one of you, family and friends that have made the journey to celebrate with us today. And as we gather here, let us give thanks and honor and love each and every one that has come together from far and wide. And welcome to this beautiful land that we call Mi'kma'ki, the unceded territory of my ancestors, that have welcomed each and every one of your ancestors to our shores since time immemorial. And we are continuing to extend that friendship going forth into the future. And we look forward to the relationships that we continue to build. Let the path of these graduates continue to be bright and opened as they venture out into this wide open world and find their true purpose and direction in life. Find that community like they have found that community here. That's the theme that I've been finding today. It's all about community, coming together and supporting one another. Let us continue to support. Wallalan Msitnogama. May be seated. I would like to invite our jingle dress dancers out to the stage. That's going to do a little dance for us. They're going to be dancing jingle. Jingle dress is a healing dance. As we venture out into this world, we may come with struggles. Let this dance be healing as we move forward. Here we have Myra Shipley from Umlunguk First Nation, my niece. And we have Shay Ward from Nahwaaneg First Nation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. It is my distinct honor and pleasure and privilege to declare Convocation to be in session. Je prononce la cérémonie de la remise des diplômes en cours. Your Honor, Mr. Chancellor, Board Chair, Regents, faculty, staff, and administration, distinguished platform guests, graduates, family, friends, and members of the community, welcome, bienvenue, Upchalasi, to our 2026 Convocation ceremony. I am deeply honored to be here to help us celebrate. Mr. Chancellor, as we begin our celebrations this afternoon, there are a number of special guests that I want to introduce to you and for us to acknowledge. I'll begin with Her Honor, Votre Honneur Louise Embo, Lieutenant Governor of the great province of New Brunswick. Chancellor Emeritus, Dr. John Bragg. A number of our honorary degree recipients, Dr. Judy Bragg, Dr. David Booth, Dr. Sandra Crabtree, Dr. Alex Fancy, Dr. Margaret Fancy, Dr. Beth Powning, Dr. Don McNutt, and Dr. Bernard Richard. We also have with us this afternoon Mr. Chancellor Jonathan Graves, President of the Federated Alumni Association of Mount Allison University, as well as Cassandra Vale, the President and CEO of the Mount Allison Student Union. And last but certainly not least, from our partner Moncton Flight College, we have Elise McGlashing. Everyone, please welcome all of our guests. Now, graduates, for better or worse, the ceremony tends to start with the President saying a few words to all of you. But before I do that, I want to address everybody else that is in the room. There are going to be several times during this ceremony when you're going to be asked to celebrate, to hoot, to holler, to applause, to clap, to stomp your feet, whatever you can do to make noise, to celebrate the class of 2026. I'm going to ask you to do that in just a moment. But each time that you are asked to do that, we do expect you to improve on the previous time. So this is your warm-up. Everyone, please congratulate the class of 2026. It's not bad, you get a 7 for that one. You'll have at least 2, if not 3 more chances. Graduates, while we are here to celebrate you and all that you have achieved at your time at Mount Allison, we also recognize that nobody gets to this moment without help. You've had support of family members and friends, and of course faculty and staff and instructors here at the university, mentors. Class of 2026, can you join me in thanking everybody that is here in this room that has helped get you to this day? Now, graduates, at this moment, you are at a threshold, one of the great milestones of your life's journey. After years of hard work, today, through ceremony and symbols, you will pass from who you have been as students into who you are becoming as graduates of this great university. Throughout our history, as sure as the tides of the Bay of Fundy and the mighty Tantramar winds, Mount Allison graduates have gone out into the world and made their marks on it. Today, in that 200-year lineage, it's your turn, and we need you more than ever. I wish I could stand here today and point out into a world that is ripe with peace and opportunity for all. However, you know I cannot do that. I am sure that all of us here today share many anxieties about our present and our futures. The pace and depth of instability and risk seems to be breathtakingly sad. To be sure, there are days when I feel that the familiar fabric of the progressive world is unraveling, slipping away. Economic uncertainty, geopolitical conflicts, and a world whose attention to equity and justice wanes. There are days when I feel a little bit despondent. Today is not one of those days. Because as I stand before you, I see hope. I see graduates of broad, curious, accomplished, generous minds and hearts. You embody the hopes and dreams of this university, our very vocation to contribute to a more prosperous, just, equitable, sustainable, and knowing world. Over these last years, in lecture halls and labs, in libraries and in community, you have explored ideas. You've tested limits. You've expanded horizons. You've navigated the unknowns of intellectual inquiry and creative expression. You have journeyed through diverse fields of knowledge in preparation for the complexities and the perspectival incongruities of the world as it is. You've delved into literature and science, art and economics, honing in equal measure technical skills and the capacity to think broadly, critically, creatively, and to lead in a world of uncertainty. Yet, your achievements go far beyond the classroom. You have immersed yourselves in a vibrant community dedicated to shaping a better world. Many among you have advanced ecological research in scientific laboratories, pushing the very boundaries of discovery. Others have graced the stage or worked tirelessly behind the scenes in musical and theatrical productions, enriching our lives through meaning and beauty. Many have traveled to distant lands through student exchanges, broadening your perspectives and understanding the world. Many of you have volunteered with a variety of initiatives like Together Time, inspiring young children in how they learn to read and how they learn to learn. And of course, a remarkable number of you have volunteered and worked in internships in a variety of organizations, locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. No matter where your passions lie, whether they be in the arts or the sciences or service, you have been and you remain and you will always be an integral part of this community, shaping a better world through your dedication and engagement. The education you have received here has lit a flame within you, a spark of curiosity, of courage, of creativity. And that flame, those sparks, must never be extinguished because they are the fuel for a better world. Over the course of this last year, we have been celebrating a very important anniversary at Mount Allison, the 150th anniversary of Grace Annie Lockhart, a flame that was lit here at Mount Allison 150 years ago when Grace became the very first woman, not just in New Brunswick, not just in Canada, but across the entire British Empire at the time of nations, to earn a university degree of any kind. That flame was lit here, not Oxford, not Cambridge, not Manchester or Aberdeen or Glasgow or Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver or Sydney. It was lit here in Sackville. And you are part of that tradition. And I can think of no better, no more beautiful, no more powerful example to remind us all that with a good education and good support, it does not matter who you are, where you are, from wherever you sit, from wherever you stand, like Grace Annie Lockhart, like generations of Allisonians since then, you too can and will change the world. Class of 2026, I think that your class quote sums that up beautifully. You are indeed ready for another adventure, and we cannot wait to support you in that and see where life is going to take you. Everyone, this is your second time to raise the roof for the class of 2026.
Mr. Chancellor, platform guests, members of the faculty and staff, graduates of the class of 2026, families and friends, I am honored to present Gerald McGarvey. Gerald McGarvey is a proud Sackville native, a distinguished Mount Allison alumnus, and a thoughtful and accomplished Canadian public servant and philanthropist. His life and work reflect a deep commitment to public purpose, responsible leadership, and the strengthening of communities and institutions. His career has spanned public policy, financial leadership, investment management, and philanthropy, and he has brought intelligence, integrity, and a profound sense of responsibility to every role he has undertaken. Mr. McGarvey's connection to Mount Allison began early. As a child growing up in Sackville, he took part in the university's Applied Arts program for children and regularly attended Ella Smith's Children's Library in Hart Hall. Those early experiences helped foster a lifelong affection for Mount Allison and its history. That bond deepened when he enrolled here as a student, graduating in 1968 with an honors Bachelor of Arts in Economics. He later pursued advanced studies in economics at the University of British Columbia, earning his Master of Arts in 1970. Following his studies, Mr. McGarvey began a distinguished career in public service. In New Brunswick, he played a significant role in the province's success in securing a series of federal-provincial agreements to support special economic development measures across multiple sectors of the provincial economy. He later chaired the committee of officials charged with revising New Brunswick's economic development strategy and drafted the document that became the government's official strategy, forming the basis of its announcement in the legislature. In 1980, he moved to the New Brunswick Department of Finance, where he went on to modernize the province's financing, treasury, and investment operations. His leadership brought major savings in financing costs, stronger investment returns, improved cash management, and efficiencies through the consolidation of financing under one authority. He also formulated the framework for the establishment of an investment management company for the government's pension funds that continues to this day. Among his most notable achievements was the creation of the Strait Crossing Finance Corporation and the highly innovative financing structure for the Confederation Bridge, designed so that the bridge could be built without direct cost to governments and effectively finance itself through indexed toll revenues. Since leaving government, Mr. McGarvey has continued to contribute through investment leadership and philanthropy, helping to strengthen Canadian capital markets, support economic activity, and expand the resources available for charitable giving through the Crabtree Foundation. His philanthropy has supported education, public policy, and other important causes, always guided by thoughtfulness, independence, and a belief in the value of strong institutions. In recognition of his many contributions, he has been awarded the King Charles III Coronation Medal. In honoring Gerald McGarvey, we recognize a life of exceptional public service, wise leadership, and enduring generosity. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of Mount Allison University, I request that you confer upon Gerald McGarvey the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Gerald McGarvey, class of 1968. On behalf of the Senate of Mount Allison University, we are pleased to confer on you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. The hood with which we are investing you and the diploma we are presenting to you are the outward symbols of your membership in this venerable and distinguished community. We are honored to have you as a Mount Allison graduate and look forward to your continued association with this university.
Mr. Chancellor, platform guests, members of the faculty and staff, graduands of the class of 2026, families and friends, I am honored to present Phil Richards. For more than 50 years, Phil Richards has made an extraordinary contribution to the visual arts in Canada. A painter of exceptional range, depth, and accomplishment, he is widely admired for his technical mastery, his artistic imagination, and his ability to bring clarity, character, and life to every subject he approaches. Across decades of sustained practice, he has built a body of work that is as once disciplined and expressive, grounded in craft, and animated by a singular artistic vision. A graduate of the Ontario College of Art, Mr. Richards has exhibited throughout Canada and the United States and Europe. His distinguished career has spanned portraiture, murals, landscape, still life, and sculpted relief, reflecting an impressive versatility across genre and medium. Whether working in paint, graphite, or large-scale installation, he brings to each work a rare combination of precision, sensitivity, and insight. His portraiture has earned wide recognition for its dignity, nuance, and lasting presence. Among his many notable achievements is the official Diamond Jubilee portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a commission that reflects the international esteem in which his work is held. Over the course of his career, he has created portraits of public figures and major works for significant public and private spaces, helping to shape the visual memory of our public life. And in fact, one of Mr. Richards' portraits is right here in Convocation Hall, just over on the wall to my right. I invite you to check it out. It is a portrait of one of our beloved chancellors. And in recognition of his contributions, he has received honors, including the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal and the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal. Beyond exhibitions, commissions, and honors, Mr. Richards has offered something larger through his art. He has helped us to see more carefully, reflect more deeply, and appreciate more fully the beauty, complexity, and humanity in the world around us. His career reminds us that art is not only an expression of talent, but a lasting contribution to how we understand ourselves and one another. In honoring Mr. Richards, we recognize a life of excellence, creativity, and enduring service to the cultural life of Canada. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of Mount Allison University, I request that you confer upon Phil Richards the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Phil Richards, on behalf of the Senate of Mount Allison University, we are pleased to confer on you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. The hood with which we are investing you and the diploma we are presenting to you are the outward symbols of your membership in this venerable and distinguished community. We are honored to have you as a Mount Allison graduate, and we look forward to your continued association with this university.
Well, I think I'll need my glasses. Thank you, Chancellor Cooper, President Sutherland, Vice President Eisner, the Board of Regents, and the Senate of Mount Allison. This is a tremendous honor from a great university. Good afternoon to members of the faculty and staff, the graduating class of 2026, families and friends, and to my 3-year-old grandson, Lachlan, who flew in from Winnipeg and brought his parents along as well. So. Yeah, so 53 years ago, I graduated from the Ontario College of Art, or OCA as it was known then. The college didn't offer degrees at that time, so I received a 4-year diploma in drawing and painting. This qualification allowed me to secure, almost immediately upon graduation, a prized job as a part-time janitor of a strip mall in East Toronto. Let me take you back further to explain how I came to occupy this coveted position. By the age of 3, I was being tutored in art by my father and my grandfather, both of whom had been trained as painter-decorators, my grandfather in Wales and my father in Canada. They had me painting in oils before I was in kindergarten. By age 7, I had decided that I was going to be an artist when I grew up. I continued to make art throughout elementary and secondary school. In the spring of my final high school year, I entered a couple of paintings into a community art show held at a local church. The minister had invited Jack Pollock, a prominent Toronto art dealer, to deliver the Sunday sermon on the theme of art and religion, and then to officially open the show. After viewing the artworks, Jack asked to speak with me. He invited me to visit his downtown gallery the following week. I went, and after seeing more of my work, he took me on as a gallery artist. So, having just turned 18, I had been discovered. Therein lies an important component of a strategy for success. Be lucky. The Roman philosopher and politician Seneca defined luck as what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If the groundwork is in place, you can take advantage of chance opportunities when they arise. Be proactive and be lucky. I planned to attend OCA in the fall of 1969. I had turned down a generous academic scholarship at the University of Toronto because I was determined to become a full-time artist. This, I'm sure, was profoundly disappointing to my parents and teachers, but they supported me nonetheless, which brings me to another secret to success, which is the unconditional support of family and friends. Jack Pollock, an OCA alumnus himself, discouraged me from attending the college, thinking that it might corrupt my artistic sensibility. As an alternative, he offered me a solo show after a year of painting. However, I stuck with my college plan. Jack did encourage me to enter that summer's Toronto Outdoor Art Show. I entered, won the award for Best Watercolor, and sold a few paintings, giving me what any young artist in any field needs: real encouragement that reinforces a dream and a goal. My OCA years, 1969 to 1973, were particularly tumultuous for the institution. Each of the 4 years saw a different revolutionary administration in charge, but ironically, the result for the students was not chaos. The exposure to opposing ideologies was enlightening, especially in this period of modern art history when numerous new isms were clamoring for attention. Pop art, post-painterly abstraction, minimalism, installation art, performance art, video art, and conceptualism were all fighting to command the art market. Now, OCA taught me a great deal, mostly about what I didn't want to do. Now, that's not as cynical as it sounds. Finding your own voice within your chosen field, especially in the early years, is a daunting task. You must first understand your own sensibility. I did this by scouring art history from ancient to contemporary for like-minded role models. This is an exercise in the development of taste and connoisseurship, two badly maligned but still accurate terms. It's about discerning quality in ancient art, modern art, and especially in your own art. If you can't recognize good stuff, how are you going to create good stuff? At college, a group of seriously ambitious students coalesced to form my peer group. We became friends, but there was one problem. At this time in the art world, around 1970, post-painterly abstraction was king, and the group became committed to abstraction. I remained devoted to figuration. After all, I was paying my way through college doing commissioned portraits. The upside was that the numerous debates concerning the role of figuration in the art world led me to a deep understanding of my own ideological stance. I felt that the drive toward abstraction and minimalism would stall, and ultimately the audience would long for the return of recognizable content. So unintentionally, I'd become a bit of a maverick, but it did lead me to the valuable realization that I would never be part of a major movement within mainstream art. The lesson was this: if you do choose an uncommon path forward, make sure that you can justify that choice. There is always going to be a price to pay in breaking with current trends or thinking, especially in the short term. But the denial of your own core beliefs is, in the long term, a far greater price to pay. After my first year at college, I married my high school sweetheart. We were only 19 years old, but felt certain that we had made the right choice. Another bit of advice: find yourself a brilliant, talented mate that has strengths where you have weaknesses, and who will stick with you through thick and thin for at least 58 years and counting. If you do, if you do find that person, you have been exceedingly lucky. After 4 years at OCA, graduation meant now facing the challenge of building a professional career. My wife and I had rented a small apartment whose single bedroom served as a small studio. A much larger dedicated studio was a necessity, but beyond our means. So here's where the job as janitor came into play. There's a strip mall in East Toronto called Cliffside Plaza that was officially opened in 1953. The owners had had difficulty finding reliable janitors in the past. The job entailed general building and property maintenance. It was a modestly paying part-time position. Although it may have seemed an unlikely choice for an aspiring artist, there was method in my madness, as Shakespeare would say. I accepted the position on the condition that a vacant 2,400 square foot second floor office space would become my studio rent-free. It was 1963. I knew this was the true beginning of my education as an artist. I felt that if I was going to become a real artist, I would have to paint full-time. I made a pledge to myself and my wife that I would paint pictures from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at least 5 days a week, and that I would do anything I had to before 9 or after 5 to get by financially. The flexibility of the job and the large studio space allowed me to paint all day and produce a significant body of work. Management loved the arrangement because I was on site all day, and I loved it because it gave me time and space for career development. I was also able to accept and execute large commissions in the expansive open space. One such commission was the 25-foot wide mural I created in 1983 for the newly built Canada's Capital Convention Centre in Ottawa. In the summer of 1984, the new commissioned artwork for the center was unveiled at a Friday evening gala event. An unexpected guest approached and started talking to me about the mural. It was none other than Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau. He was gracious, interested, and complimentary. We chatted for about 25 minutes before his security team whisked him away. Now, I flew back to Toronto late that evening, and not wanting to get up early Saturday to clean the mall, I decided to do the work before going to bed. I finished the cleaning at 2:30 a.m. Saturday morning. I leaned my bag and broom up against the Globe and Mail outdoor newspaper box, inserted my quarter, yes, a quarter, and opened the paper to the Saturday Art section. Staring back at me was a substantial article about the Ottawa Gala unveiling event, including a large photo of my mural. Now, I never considered the job as janitor demeaning. There is something truly satisfying about keeping things clean and functioning. Besides, it had enabled me to live my dream. I had planned on working at the mall for 5 years, after which I hoped to be successful enough to buy or build my own studio. In fact, I was there for 15 years. In 1988, being more financially secure, we designed and added a large studio and workshop to our home. Finally, I was able to give up mall maintenance and paint full-time in a beautiful custom-built studio. Such are the ironies of life in the arts, where a janitor can become painter to the queen. So I'll leave you with some other lessons and truths I've learned, often the hard way, during my career. Try to impress yourself, not others. Be your own harshest critic and hold yourself to the most rigorous standards possible. If you do and can produce work meeting those standards, you will know that any negative criticism is spurious and can be disregarded. All you can really control is the quality of your output, not the reaction to it. Also, learn to enjoy the countless hours it will surely take to develop your skills to the highest level. The arts have always been a very competitive field, with a relatively small percentage of participants finding success. Even those most successful will experience significant rejection in their careers, but they learn to accept and understand these rejections not as failures, but as tests of their belief in, commitment to, and passion for their chosen field, be it writing, acting, dance, music, or visual art. I believe that in this world, there is no task more difficult than creating art of lasting value, but I also feel that in this life, there is no personal achievement more gratifying or elevating. So, to the graduating class of 2026, congratulations. Your graduation is a testament to your hard work and dedication. It is a tremendous accomplishment that deserves celebration. As you embrace the next phase of your life, remember the lessons learned and cherish the memories made. Savor this moment and nurture the passion that will carry you forward to a future filled with boundless opportunities. Thank you, and good luck.
As Provost and Vice President, Academic and Research, I would like to acknowledge the exceptional contributions of all Mount Allison faculty to teaching, to research and creative scholarship, and to academic service. For any faculty present, I would like to ask you to stand, if you are able, and be recognized for your contributions to Mount Allison. It is now my honor to present the 2026 Paul Perret Medal. Dr. Susie Andrews, professor in the Visual and Material Culture Studies program, is the 2026 recipient of the Paul Perret Medal of Excellence. The Paul Perret Medal of Excellence is given annually to a faculty member who has best exemplified outstanding teaching, research, scholarship, and/or creative activities. A scholar of narrative and religion, Dr. Andrews studies how storytelling matters to individuals and communities. Much of her earlier work focused on tales about China's Mount Wutai, an important Buddhist center. Over time, her research has expanded, shaped in part by collaborations with local educators and other community partners. Colleagues and students describe Dr. Andrews as a scholar and educator of exceptional generosity and creativity, whose work is defined not only by achievement, but by the way she brings research, teaching, and service together in support of student growth, community well-being, and intellectual excellence. Among her many projects, the Together Time program is one she describes as especially meaningful. Dr. Andrews' work has been recognized with several other honors, including a 3M National Teaching Fellowship, the Association of Atlantic University's Distinguished Teaching Award, the Herbert and Leota Tucker Teaching Award, and election to the Royal Society of Canada's College of New Scholars, Artists, and Scientists. Recently, Dr. Andrews received an invitation to serve as a Numata Visiting Scholar at Princeton University in 2027, a distinguished honor demonstrating international recognition of her scholarship. Mount Allison University has played a defining role in Dr. Andrews' academic and personal journey. An alumna of the university, she returned to Mount Allison as a faculty member in 2012. This year, Dr. Andrews will receive the Paul Perret Medal of Excellence in the same year she receives her 25-year pin during the reunion weekend at Mount Allison. The time brings together recognitions of her contributions to teaching, to research and service, with a personal milestone that reflects her long-standing connection to the institution as both a student and a faculty member. Congratulations to Dr. Susie Andrews on being awarded the 2026 Paul Perret Medal of Excellence. Cheryl Hodder will present the certificate. I would also like to note that in addition to the Paul Perret Medal, 5 Paul Perret Excellence Awards have also been made to the following exceptional recipients: Dr. Margaret Ellen Messenger in the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, Dr. Fiona Black in the Department of Religious Studies, Dr. Mario Levesque in the Department of Politics and International Relations, Dr. Nancy Garon in the Department of Psychology, and Dr. Catherine Lovekin in the Department of Physics. I would ask if any Paul Perret Excellence Award recipients are present, if you could please stand and be recognized.
Chancellor, it is my pleasure to introduce to you and to this convocation the following recipients of emeritus faculty appointments. This is on the occasion of their retirement after long service to Mount Allison University. If you are present, please stand as I read your name. Receiving Professor Emeritus David Rogason from the Department of Music. Receiving Associate Professor Emeritus Owen Griffith from the Department of History. Receiving Associate Professor Emeritus status, Kathleen Lord, also from the Department of History. And receiving Associate Professor Emeritus status, Gail H. Martin from the Department of Music. Honoranda Cancelleri, e adolescentes cos ad teoduco ad gradum baccalaureae in artibus, apti atque idonei cogni sunt. Anna Maria Bacalou, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Claire Victoria Jane Barton, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Isla Frances Bergen, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude, recipient of the Outstanding Achievement in Linguistics. Samuel Josiah Burley, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude, recipient of the Donna L. Purdy Memorial Peer Support Award. Brooklyn Frederica Barr Campbell, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Emma Victoria Carroll, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Pedro Caze dos Santos Santana, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Liam Francis Clark Black, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude, recipient of the Harold W. Simpson Memorial Prize, the McKenna Prize in Philosophy, Politics, and Economics, and a Gold A, a Jane Abbard Eaton Student Leadership Award. Hannah Jane Clark, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Ella Mackenzie Crowley, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude, recipient of the Allison Watson Beveridge Prize in English. Mallory Lily Mary Drover, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Esther Morinikeji Emmanuel, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. William John David Gallant, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Ashna Tisha Gunwani, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude. Agnes Grace, cum honoribus premiordinis cum laude, recipient of a University Leadership Pin. Ricky Gilmet, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude, recipient of the David Blackwood Prize. Madison Carter Hartop, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Emerson Grace Heffron, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Forrest Chamberlain Holbrook, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Isabella Helen Marie Jones, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Veronique Alicia McKay, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Grace Marie McCormack, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Sarah Rochelle McCracken, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Sharmi Hitesh Kumar Pastagish, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Bridget Brianne Powning, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Ella Linnea Prolitapali, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude, recipient of the E. George Nichols Prize in Psychology. Kale Clara Alice Queering, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude, recipient of the Mary Ellen Bronskill Campbell BFA 70 Award in Fine Arts and the Stanway Prize in Philosophy. Eleanor Dawn DeHaas Reifenstein, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Sadie Keita Shelley, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Haley Ann Sisk, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Shannon St. George, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude, recipient of the Governor General's Silver Medal, the Alumni Academic Achievement Award, the William Morley Tweedy Memorial Gold Medal, the CPA Certificate of Academic Excellence, and the Dr. Karen Nicholson Psychology Prize. Drew Callahan Tipsis, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Louisa Jane Whitmore, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude, recipient of the Frank Strain International Relations Award. Eva Janine Winter, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude, recipient of the Staling Prize in Latin. Marguerite Ann Catherine Faulkner, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Olivia Morgan Hale, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Natasha Baltimore Embo, cum honoribus premiordinus cum laude. Hallie Anna Muir, cum honoribus premiordinus. Jocelyn Margaret Penley, cum honoribus premiordinus. Amanda Jane Feindl, cum honoribus, recipient of the Arthur J. Ebbett Prize. Otoa Hanatani, cum honoribus. Daniel George Henniger, cum honoribus, recipient of a University Leadership Pin. Logan William Higgins, cum honoribus. Maya Jean Jukes Hopper, cum honoribus. Emily Ann Patterson, cum honoribus, recipient of the Chancellor's Prize. Alexander Robert Griffin Rafuse, cum honoribus. Percy Josephine Maharis Austin, cum laude. Ella Grace Boudreau, cum laude. Cheyenne Rose Burke, cum laude, recipient of the Donna L. Purdy Memorial Department of Sociology Writing Prize. Cedra Riaz Burnley, cum laude. Wei Chung Rachel Chan, cum laude. Catherine Elizabeth Cleary, cum laude. Dawson Jeffrey Cormier, cum laude. Lillian Corson, cum laude. Annika Elizabeth Cox, cum laude. Julia Kathleen Davison, cum laude. Grace Elizabeth Farella, cum laude. Molly Miranda Gadet, cum laude. Katie Elizabeth Graham, cum laude. Jane Lynn Gurney, cum laude. Jenna Marie Carmel Horseman, cum laude. Ben Mark Hudon, cum laude. Anna Irwin, cum laude, recipient of the Gill Ladder Prize. Molly Lena Jones, cum laude. Victoria Reese Jones, cum laude, recipient of the Department of Sociology Prize. Megan Anne Marie Lane, cum laude. Nathan Alexander Lane, cum laude. Evan William Lawrence, cum laude, recipient of the prize of the Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany. Hannah Faye McFarland, cum laude. Emma Rose McLean, cum laude, recipient of the Donna L. Purdy Memorial Social Justice Prize in Sociology. Chloe Mallet, cum laude, recipient of the Michael J. Tucker Political Science Award. Alyssa Danielle Manuel, cum laude, recipient of the Jenny Robinson Quinn Prize. Paige Allison Meisner, cum laude, recipient of the prize of the Consul General of Japan in Montreal. William Harrison Miller, cum laude. Wilson Edward Paluk, cum laude, recipient of the IODE New Brunswick Chapter Prize and a Gold A, a Jane Avard Eaton Student Leadership Award. Nadia Poirier, cum laude. Dawn Elizabeth Purchase, cum laude. Phoebe Isabel Rex, cum laude, recipient of the John Edgar Peters Prize, the Alfred D. Smith Prize in Classics, and the Dr. J.E.A. Craik Performance Award in Drama. Sophie McPherson Ryan, cum laude, recipient of the Vice Bonaventura Prize for Academic Excellence in Hispanic Studies and Contributions to University Life. Jedediah Henry Taylor Sears, cum laude, recipient of a University Leadership Pin. Justin G. Smith, cum laude. Zoe Catherine Smith, cum laude. Jacob Robert Stewart, cum laude. Taylor Dale Ume Troop Robinson, cum laude. Kayla Ray Treitz, cum laude, recipient of a University Leadership Pin. Claire Cassidy Turner, cum laude. Claire Elizabeth Wilson Diamond, cum laude. Aiko Valeria Aguilar Jimenez, recipient recipient of the Outstanding Achievement in Japanese Language Studies and the Britt Marshall International Graduating Student of the Year, the Dr. Michael Wu Prize. Haley Olivia Arsenault. Ainsley Ruosong Atkinson. Jordan Kaylee Grace Atwell. Josie Nicole Bailey. Kaylee Ava Baker. Emily Marie Bannister. Cody John Kevin Barton. Severin Beiser Jackson. Margaret Kathleen Bonvie. William Ramsey Joseph Brackstone. Lena Elizabeth Bradford. Nicole Gail Boomer. Leon Campos Teixeira. Elena Lorraine Leah Carter. Callie Jade Celeste. Lexi Dawn Chappell. Janelle Marie Como. Tyden Como. Gregory Connors. Jen? Okay, Angela, Jen? Okay. Angela Jeanne Corriveau, recipient of the Women's and Gender Studies Prize. Christian Leslie Kiss Korskaden. Emma Sear. Dylan Dominic Decane. Joel Hagerman Davis, recipient of the Donald T. Goodwin Prize. Nicholas James Dawson. Alton Allen Edwin Dewhurst Brown. Barrett Elliott Doby. Erica Beverly Duncan. Riley Jane Lewick Duquette. Sophia Gabrielle Estabrooks. Rebecca Louise Fearon. Rory Grace Temple Fisk. Emily Hanson Flowers. Maya Ann Doreen Grant. Lauren Page Griffin Lapine. Kailas Gupta. Grayson Thane Hart. Rory James Hennessy. Jessica Ann Henry. Willard John Hovey. Kirk Jean-Baptiste. Kate Carly Johnson. Nicole Marie Kelly. Zachary Nicholas Cozier. Sajin Kuriakos Saji. Dylan Jeffrey Kurtz. Jessica Landry. Sarah Grace Legier. Rachel Elizabeth Liddell. Andrew Cameron Leslie Little. Aaron Blair Hamilton Litvak. Paige Ryan Lux. Naomi Aslan Dawn McDonald. Marley Grace McCachran. Thomas Michael Maindonald. Amber Marion Manuel. Evelyn Adele Marchand. James Ryan Marion. Jack Philip Steinman McBain. Catherine Bonnie McNair. Addison Ann Evangeline Mary. Mako Mira. Shelby Marie Molnar. Kaluse Mu. Jacinta Ngozi Mordi. Ai Nakatsuka. Caitlin Charlene Dawn Paris. Mikhail Paul. Zoe Merrick Popick. Kira Victoria Powell. Alan Jerry Prakat. Michael Fraser Rock. Waylon Lee Smith, recipient of the M. Collin Grant Book Prize. Caitlin Such. Abigail Elizabeth Spencer. Chloe Janet Stroud. Aidan Bruce Sullivan. Trinity Alexis Thibault Lati. Brogan Thomas. Wyatt Luke Thompson. Jillian Violet Troop. Paige Loretta Titus. Emma Marie Tai. Nitya Vinod Kumar. Isabel Hannah Watson. Miranda Weber. Joshua Max Kenneth Weinberg Fillmore. In-Hei Yang, recipient of the Governor General's Gold Medal. Honoranda Cancelleri, ali adolescentes a senatu approbate os gradus in absentia accipiunt. Honoranda Cancelleri, e adolescentes cos ad deaduco ad gradum baccalaureae in artibus elegantioribus, apti atque adoni cognisunt. Darlene Dawn Baker, cum laude. Will Davis, cum laude. Emma Gauci, cum laude. Olivia Morgan Griffin, cum laude. Alice Naomi Sandra Le Sueur, cum laude. Ava Gwyneth Livesey, cum laude. Kelly Marlena Matatal, cum laude. Anna Hua-Hee Miller, cum laude. Megan Brianne Patterson, cum laude. Jacob Puffer, cum laude, recipient of the Graham Atlantic Writing Prize. Tegan Kendra Stewart, cum laude, recipient of the Dr. J.E.A. Craik Award in Fine Arts. Annabelle Lore Donison. Maximiliano Haraguay Perez. Tessa Rose Poirier. Riley Nicole Small. Sam Jack Spencer. Jessie Grace Eaton Stagg. Honoranda Cancelleri, ali adoscentes a senatu approbate, hos gradus in absentia accipiunt. Honoranda Cancelleri, adoscentes cos ad deatuco ad gradum baccalaureae in musica apti atque idonei cogniti sunt. Liana Felicity Baxter, cum laude. Skylar Marcel Christine Cote, cum laude. Danica Aaron Jollimore, cum laude. Eden Starr McFadden, cum laude. Jude Love Taylor Burke, cum laude, recipient of the Dr. J.E.A. Craik Performance Award in Music. Ethan James Walter, cum laude. Ashley Ann Grant Daigle. Olivia Jamie Short. Honorande Cancelleri, aliados gentes a senatu approbate os grados in absentia accipiunt. Honorande Cancelleri, e baccalaureae quos ad deaduco ad gradum in octobri admissi sunt. Isabella Shannon Caldwell. Carson Noah McKinnon. Laura Patterson. Gregory Peter. Atterberg Yükselen.
Okay, folks, you've had 2 goes. This is your third. Now, this is usually where we peak, because it's after all the degrees. This is your third chance to raise the roof of Convocation Hall in celebration of the class of 2026. What do you think, Mr. Provost? The Provost gives you a 9. One more time before the end. Chancellor, each year, the graduating class chooses one graduate to represent the class and deliver the valedictory address. This is, of course, a great honor, but also a great responsibility, as the valedictorian must find a way to adequately sum up these years here at Mount Allison. The class of 2026 has selected somebody who is more than up to that challenge, because the class of 26 has selected Honors International Relations student Daniel Henniger. Daniel Henniger, clearly a very popular person, hails from Port Williams, Nova Scotia. Throughout his time at Mount Allison, he has been actively involved in campus life, including writing and editing for the Argosy, hosting its weekly CHMA radio show, and performing with the Garnet to Gold Musical Theatre Company, as well as at the Moat Your Fancy Theatre in their productions. He's embraced opportunities right across the university and describes his time at Mount Allison as shaped by community, unexpected paths, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. Following Convocation, he's off to work with Minister Sean Fraser in Ottawa. and I think is going to take some holidays in the Netherlands a little bit later to visit some friends that he met here while he was a student at Mount Allison. Everyone, it is my great honor to present Daniel Henniger, the valedictorian for the class of 2026.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chancellor Cooper, Dr. Sutherland, faculty, staff, guests, family members, and you, the graduating class of 2026. I cannot express how grateful I am to stand here as your valedictorian today. Younger me certainly did not expect to be here, and I owe you all a lifetime of appreciation for trusting me with this role. I started my speech back in March and have thought long and hard about how I want to convey a final message to our class that highlights the many experiences we've had during our time at Mount Allison. It comes down to one word: community. Community comes to mind because together we built this moment after years of attending classes, finding our way around campus, and learning more about ourselves. We did it. As I talk to you today about the significance of community at Mount Allison, I hope to leave you feeling accomplished, proud, and grateful to be a member of the class of 2026. So, I want to start with a question. What do you remember about your first few days here? The drive in, unloading the car and wondering where everything would fit, the Titan Bright? Whatever stands out, it's safe to say that we all arrived at this school with different goals, ideas, concerns, and questions. Maybe you were born and raised a Sackville kid, and coming here was always your plan. Perhaps you drove from within Atlantic Canada, or transferred to Mount Allison midway through your degree. Or maybe your first day at this school was also one of your first few days in Canada. Regardless of your story, the couple hundred of us sitting here today are evidence that together we can accomplish extraordinary things. Each path we have taken has a unique story behind it. I arrived at Mount Allison afraid of not fitting in. I've always been on the quieter side and worried that I was too shy to meet new people and that my interests in international politics and musical theater were too niche. I knew what I loved to do, but the thought of being myself in a new place was terrifying. I remember taking the Sackville exit, and soon after, I saw someone in a bright yellow tutu jumping up and down, while my dad tried to make conversation with them out the window, and I did my best to hide myself in the front seat. That night, after Orientation 101, I called my parents in tears, wondering if this is the right school for me. Throughout the first few weeks, I would usually say things to them like, if I go back after Thanksgiving, if I go back next semester. As I gave myself more time to find my way around the school, those ifs turned into whens. When I register for courses next, or when I see my friends. I believe this change came from recognizing what a special place the community of Mount Allison truly is. While it may be small, this university is passionate, diverse, and welcoming. It's a place where you can study the United Nations Security Council in the morning, go on a flight with an aviation student later in the day, and if you're lucky, make it back to Power Hour at Ducky's. Finding community anywhere works in unexpected ways. There's likely something from your time here that you did not expect would make such an impact on your life. Perhaps you found a lifelong friend out of the blue, received great advice from a professor, were encouraged to get involved in a society you didn't expect to love, or became interested about a random elective you studied in first year. This experience happened to me in my second year when I was cast as Lumiere in Garnet and Gould's production of Beauty and the Beast. This opportunity not only opened the door to an incredible theater experience, but also to being with a diverse group that worked towards a shared goal together. Whatever this moment looked like for you, how wonderful is it that amidst our differences, we can discover shared interests and come to love what we created. We can see how amazing the community at Mount Allison is every day. We get to bring our ideas to life through independent research. Some spend time helping children or the elderly through Sackville programs. We advocate or fundraise for causes that we care about. There are TAs, residence leaders, and international mentors who go above and beyond in helping students who feel lost. We invited friends over for movie nights and hosted far too cramped dorm parties. And we cannot forget the students who organize clubs to make the school environment more fun. I see you, Cereal Appreciation Club. The list goes on. Our countless memories we created over our time here reminds me of the adage, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Not only did we make it to the finish line in this journey, but we did so supporting one another, which made it that much easier and worthwhile. And while we're on the topic of support, to those within the walls of this campus, from faculty, professors, and the unsung heroes who feed us and keep this campus looking beautiful, we are forever grateful to you. To our loved ones who supported us by taking late-night calls, sending us a care package, or perhaps writing an extra check or two, we truly could not have done this without you. Now, before I wrap up, the poli-sci and international relations student in me would be remiss if I did not note that as graduates, we hold great power in having a degree. My mom used to tell my brother and I that no matter what power we have, to use it for good. I used to interpret this as leadership or political power, but after seeing the amazing things this class has done and will do, it is clear that being educated is and always will be the greatest form of power. This is because education is never fleeting. Beauty, fashion, entertainment, social trends are changing all the time, but education. Since the beginning of time, education has been the source of the world's greatest breakthroughs. It lets us problem solve the most pressing issues and change this planet for the better. As we step into our next adventure, we have a responsibility to use our education to make a positive impact on the world. This room is filled with critical thinkers, researchers, creativity, quick-wittedness, and curiosity. Our degree is not just a symbol that, yes, we graduated. It shows how deeply we care about something and want to devote time to our passions. For those reasons, we should never apologize for our interests or make ourselves small on topics that we care about. We have the ability to teach others, challenge narratives, make breakthroughs, and be our most authentic selves while doing so. No matter your field of study or where your interests lie, how amazing is it that we got this education at Mount Allison University? So, as I look to you today, the class of 2026, I've never felt more optimistic about the positive impact we will make, no matter the places we go. We can dream, do, change, and explore. So wish for the impossible and chase it. Be rebellious and be your authentic self. Your community will be better because of it. Thank you for this great honor.
Twice in a row now I've had to follow Daniel today. Beautiful job, Daniel. Just before I get started, I'd like to wish all the moms in the audience a happy belated Mother's Day. Hopefully this gift of graduation was your best Mother's Day gift yet. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Graves. I'm the current president of the Mount Allison Alumni Board, and I'm very proud to stand in front of you today. Graduates, congratulations. Today is a celebration of everything it took to get to this moment. The years of work, the late nights, the friendships, the setbacks, the small victories that no one else saw, and the determination that brought you across the stage today. And on behalf of the Mount Allison Federated Alumni Board and alumni around the world, I want to say how proud we are to welcome you into our alumni family. Today, you become a part of a community of more than 25,000 Mount Allison alumni living and working across Canada and around the world. Beginning today, you carry that connection with you too. You will discover, sometimes unexpectedly, that Mount Allison alumni tend to find one another. It happens in airports, offices, classrooms, communities, and cities far from Sackville. There is usually an immediate conversation about residents, professors, friends, teams, societies, favorite spots on campus, or memorable weather events that can only be truly understood by people who have experienced the Tantramar winds firsthand. Because no matter when someone graduated, there are certain things alumni recognize in one another: curiosity, community, creativity, and a willingness to stay involved. Those qualities have always shaped this university. What makes the alumni community special is not simply the accomplishments of its graduates, it's the way the alumni continue to show up for one another and for Mount Allison itself. They mentor students, volunteer, return for reunion and homecoming, support scholarships, and help fellow alumni find opportunities and connections. They remain connected because this place mattered to them and continues to matter to them long after they leave. And now, you are a part of that story too. This past year, as Mount Allison marked the 150th anniversary of Grace Annie Lockhart becoming the first woman in the British Empire to earn a bachelor's degree, we have reflected on the generations of graduates who came before us and helped shape this university and the communities around them. Today, your names are added to that history. For many of you, Mount Allison became much more than a campus. It became the place where lifelong friendships began, where your confidence grew, and where people encouraged you, challenged you, and believed in you. The Alumni Board exists to ensure that connection does not disappear after graduation. One of the simplest and most meaningful ways to stay connected is by helping future students discover Mount Allison. The Refer a Student program is a simple online forum. Share your experience, encourage prospective students to visit campus, ask questions, and imagine themselves here. Some of the strongest parts of this community have always grown person by person, through alumni who believed enough in their experience to recommend it to someone else. Most importantly, know that you will always have a place here. Having the privilege of presenting each of you with your alumni pin as you left the stage today was an honor for me. It is a small symbol, but it represents something meaningful, your lifelong connection to Mount Allison and to one another. So today, celebrate this accomplishment fully. Celebrate the people beside you, the people who supported you, and the journey that brought you here. Congratulations, class of 2026. We are so proud to welcome you to the Mount Allison alumni family.
Good afternoon. The early reviews from this morning's ceremony are coming in on social media, and a lot of reviews are saying, I wish that Chancellor guy spoke longer. Because that guy rocked. Like, I'd give back my degree if I could do it again. Okay, so that hasn't happened, but it's great to be with you this afternoon with my own tribe, the arts, fine arts, and music graduates, of course, all of you in the Mount Allison community. Standing with you here today, I'm struck by how much this moment represents, not just an ending, but a new beginning that is taking shape. Convocation has a way of doing that. It gives us a moment to pause, to recognize how far you've come, while also asking, what's next? For me, this day carries very personal meaning. Mount Allison has been part of my life for a very long time, and as a graduate, and through deep family connections that tie me to this place in lasting ways. So being here today as your chancellor at my first convocation in this role feels both new and very familiar at the same time. I remember sitting where you are now with a sense of accomplishment, yes, but also with questions, uncertainty, and a growing awareness that life was about to open up in ways I couldn't fully predict. That's something you and I share today. You are stepping forward as graduates into lives and careers that are just beginning to take shape. And I'm stepping into my role as the 10th Chancellor of Mount Allison, also at the beginning of something new. Different paths, different stages, but a similar feeling, that mix of excitement, possibility, and maybe just a little bit of anticipation and nervousness for the unknown. What I've come to understand, and what I hope you'll come to understand, is that the unknown is not something to be frightened of. It's where growth happens. Very few journeys unfold exactly as planned. The most meaningful opportunities often come from the unexpected, the moments where you take a step forward without having all the answers. So if you leave here today without a perfectly clear plan, that's okay. What matters is that you move forward with curiosity, with openness, and with the confidence that you are ready for what comes next. Along the way, you will carry Mount Allison with you, not just in what you've learned, but in the relationships you've built, the conversations that changed your thinking, and the people who supported you. Those connections matter more than you may realize right now. The value of your degree, to paraphrase the tragically hip, reveals itself one star at a time. They will continue to shape your path, and if you're like me, they'll stay with you for a lifetime. To the families and supporters here today, thank you. You've been part of this journey in ways both visible and behind the scenes, and this milestone belongs to you as well. And to our honorary degree recipients, Phil Richards, a distinguished visual artist whose career spans more than 5 decades and whose work has been recognized across Canada and internationally. Through his creativity, versatility, and dedication to his craft, he has captured people, places, and moments in ways that resonate far beyond the canvas. Gerald McGarvey, a proud Mount Allison alumnus and philanthropic leader whose enduring commitment to education, community, and the arts has had a profound impact on this university and beyond. Through his generosity and leadership, he has helped create opportunities that continue to shape the student experience. Through your work in art, philanthropy, leadership, and in your communities, you've each made a lasting contribution. And for our graduates, your examples are a powerful reminder that there are many paths to a meaningful life and many ways to make a difference. We are honored to recognize both of you today. Congratulations, félicitations. Graduates, there's no single definition of success waiting for you beyond this day. There's only the path you choose to build, step by step. Some of you will follow plans you've carefully mapped out. Others will find yourselves pulled in directions you didn't expect. Both are part of the same journey. Class of 2026, this is your moment. I'm proud to be starting this chapter alongside you. Congratulations, and all the very best for what comes next. Félicitations. Merci.
Okay, folks, we're almost done. We're almost there. Mr. Chancellor, everyone here, as you can imagine, events like this take a village to put off in such a way that Mount Allison is so well known for. There are many people you see around that are making that possible, and many people behind the scenes, but I would like us all to take a moment to thank everyone that's made today's convocation ceremonies possible. Back to my earlier comments at the very start of this ceremony, nobody gets to this day without a lot of help and support, and I want us to also join our hands in thanks to, once again, to our faculty, our staff, our instructors, everyone that makes this university great. Chancellor, this was your first Convocation Day, and for a boy from Shediac, well done. Lastly, while today was Chancellor Cooper's first Convocation Days, today also marks the last Convocation Days for our Chair of the Board of Regents, and I want to take a moment to recognize Cheryl Hodder for all that she has done for the university, and in particular for these last 2 years working as Chair of the Board with me. You have been a constant companion and advisor and counsel. Thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts at Mount Allison, Chair Hodder. Now, for everyone that might be less familiar with tradition at Mount Allison, I have some instructions to give you as to how today will end. You will notice in your programs it is printed that we are going to sing the alma mater song. It is highly likely that many of you do not know the alma mater song. Just for you, it is printed on page 5 of your programs, so I'd invite you to turn to it now. We have a particular tradition also in how we sing the alma mater song. There are 2 verses with a chorus in between and a chorus finishing. You're not going to sing either verse, but we will have some wonderful musicians, both faculty and student, graduates actually now, to sing those verses for you. Enjoy them. Take in all the harmony and the rhythm and the melody and especially the poetry of this piece. Yes, Dr. St. Pierre was talking to you just then. There is a chorus, though. Pay attention to the chorus, especially the first time, because you're not singing the chorus the first time. You will sing the chorus the last time. The other part of the tradition is you remain seated while the musicians perform the first verse, the chorus, which you pay really close attention to, the second verse, and then just before the final chorus, you will be invited to stand and join your voices lustily in singing that final chorus. Following the alma mater song, we will have our final reflection from our wonderful multi-faith chaplain, the Reverend Ellie Hummel. And following that, we will sing O Canada and then have the academic procession out of the hall. At the academic procession, we would ask everyone to remain in the hall so that the academic procession can leave the hall in an orderly way. And as soon as the stage party and the graduates are out, you are all very welcome to rush outdoors and give your graduates all the hugs that you can possibly give them. So I'll go back in reverse order. Recessional, you stay seated. Before that, we'll sing O Canada. Before that, Reverend Hummel will provide a final reflection. And before that is the alma mater song. Don't sing verse 1, don't sing the chorus first, don't sing this verse 2, sing this last chorus. Got it? We're good? Now, before we do all that, there's one last thing, because this is your 4th and final time to raise the roof for the class of 2026. Congratulations, everyone.
that's quite something to follow. What a celebration. You did it. And now take a deep breath and pause. And be present in this very moment and what has taken place here today. You walked across this stage, and you're now holding your degrees in your hands. Take them and show them off with pride. And don't take only your degrees. No, take the stories of your Mount A years and the memories you have created. Take gratitude for all those who've helped you on your way. Take wisdom you have gained through challenges and perseverance and hard work. Take joy in our differences and the knowledge that we don't have to agree to show compassion to each other. Take kindness and the knowledge that every small gesture can help build a world of peace. Take all the goodness from this place and all the values you have learned, and then go to your homes and communities and spread these values with diligence and joy. Go out and be community builders, work for justice and inclusion, and together let us create a world where we all are valued. Let's do it. V'lalioch, merci, thank you.